It is Tuesday, September 30th, 2025. Podcast number 206. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hidden Oaks Overdose Football Fix podcast. I am one of the lovely hostess, the Garlic Johnson. We are joined, as always, by our other lovely hostess, the Joshua Mitchell. Josh, say hi to the folks out there.
How do you do, folks?
Oh, I don't know what he had a mouthful of, but he sure did. We appreciate people chatting along in the Discord. We appreciate at Levi Oak Illustration, and we mostly appreciate Josh for joining us each and every podcast. Josh, hi there.
Well, Gar, I'm Durin.
Whoa, that was a lot. There's a lot of hesitation there, Josh. What's going on, buddy?
Well, Sunday night happened, and that apparently happened, I guess. You know,
You don't love ties?
half a win, half a loss. Doesn't want to tie. Doesn't matter how you look at it.
Nope.
Either side of the coin, it's half of each. This past weekend was Asher's birthday party on Saturday, so started off with a bang. It was great. It was awesome. It was beautiful weather. He got some pretty sweet presents. I got some marble runs to play with. I mean, he got some marble runs to play with.
Mm-hmm.
And then Al just in a different Discord. And then Sunday happened and football was great. And I was going into Sunday afternoon like, wow, I might actually win some fantasy football games. And then we got into Sunday evening and I was like, wow, I might not win a single fantasy football game. And then we got to the point where it was a tie. And I sat there staring at the TV for a while. And then I was like, you know what? I think we need to go back to taking a knee during the national anthem and just turning the NFL off.
So what exactly are you, by taking that knee, what exactly are you protesting? Ties?
Well, yeah, ties. I mean, whether they be neckties, Tylers, football ties, zip ties, doesn't matter what kind of ties. They just kind of trigger me at this point. And I feel like in the year of 2025, our Lord, I should, we're all able to protest whatever we want to protest. And that's just going to be my protest right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can protest whatever you want. I just want to understand. So you're protesting ties. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But Ash's birthday went well. What was the theme?
Emergency response. So we get fire trucks and police cars and ambulances. My wife did, I want to say, about 55 to 60% of all the decorating before she did the remaining 40 to 45.
Okay.
And so I did about maybe 2.5%, which was actually just me blowing up the balloons with the balloon thingy and then letting them go and making that around the house.
So you were just a menace to the whole process.
Yeah. But no, that was good. And then, about an hour and a half before this, we went out to eat dinner with my pops and we went to this, I'm talking authentic Mexican food, smashed a cockroach before we left, that kind of restaurant. And, the good old Senor Taco Bell's is a great authenticated Mexican restaurant.
Was the cockroach wearing a sombrero?
No, but it was hopping over a fence.
Jesus. All right. I understand.
No, I don't even know what the place is called. It's in Big Lake somewhere, but got myself some chicken enchiladas with all three sauces. And
did it look like a single person of color worked there?
Yes, because when the guy brought out chips and salsa, my dad asked him, or my stepmom goes, "Can we get some cheese dip?" And my dad goes in a large, and he goes, "Yeah, yes, see." And then he just turned around and walked away, and we all looked at each other, and I was like, I don't think he understood what he said, because he definitely did not look like he understood. But he came back with some cheese dip, all right.
Oh, he had you, Josh. How dare you doubt him?
That might be the only English he knows, but
hey. You guys understood each other. He understood cheese dip. You understood C. Everybody wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was trying to find what he was pointing at when he said it, but hey, I didn't see it.
There you go.
How about you, Gar? How are you doing?
What? I guess we can't spoil whatever you have that isn't going to last until the Fan Tasty Zone. I good. I was up the reason we didn't podcast last week, I was up in Monoman doing my casino thing. And then I was gone all week just staring at a very exciting analytics software. That was rough. And then we went up to Jesse and Elena's baby shower. That was fun. Then I came home on Sunday and I napped, and then I watched the Sunday Night Tie, and here we are. It was a very long week for me. Not nearly as exciting as yours, but the baby shower was fun.
That's good. So did they dry it off, or is that next weekend?
I think the baby drying ceremony is still a week out. I believe you're correct.
Okay, figured.
Isn't that in the Bible? There's like a 7-day moisture period or something. You shower the baby and then you sit in the water. You purify yourself and then you dry it away with like palm leaves or something.
No, that's not. No.
It's been a while since maybe that was on the back of a cereal box or something.
That was the inside of your Cracker Jacks.
Well, I don't care if we never go back. Anyways, that's
the
enough.
real deal of football.
Yeah, let's talk about football. Josh, you've already mentioned the tie plenty, but we got the Homer's highs and the Homer's dose. Which, did I favorite a dose sounder? I thought I did, but it doesn't look like I did, which makes me sad. Is it under S for Simpson? Nope, I got nothing. Josh, give me your Homer's highs and Homer does for the pack.
Well, the high was our offense, more specifically a Jordan Love. Yeah, Al may say he's the king of mid, but if mid is 31 for 43 with 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, I'll take it any day of the week. The Vikings would be so happy to get mid quarterback play. The Packer dough. Where's the defense, guys? You guys went 3 quarters in the first 3 games without giving a touchdown. And then you just go and do this to Dak Prescott without CeeDee Lamb. Yet, I'm guessing Devonta Wyatt played a big role in that because he was a menace in the first 3 games, but him getting hurt does not help. If that's the defense that I have to look forward to watching every week from now on, thank God the bye is this week, because I don't know if I can handle 2 weeks in a row of that.
It was a little rough from your fan perspective.
Yep. That being said, still not the basement dweller in the NFC North. That is reserved for your Homer team.
Well, speaking of that team, Josh, JJ looked hot. Looks like Carson, KOC, and JJ, Justin Jefferson, that is. Looks like they went to cooking over the week, and they found a lot of ways to get him open, get him some passes. He had, 10 receptions or something? Most of his work was done in the first half, if I recall correctly, but still. We could have capitalized more on that, but it seems like we stalled out a bit. The Viking dough. Ryan Kelly needs to hang it up. I'm actually going to Google right now what his contract is because I don't remember.
16 years, $600 billion.
That sounds right. Is a 2-year, $18 million deal? Okay, that doesn't seem that bad. But it's not really about the contract. It's that this guy has had 2 concussions in 2 back-to-back games. And without pulling up the old medical minute from Jamie, I believe the situation is the more concussions you have, the easier it is to get. So, I mean, this guy, of course, I would love a stud center when he's healthy to be out there, but this guy seems to be a hazard to his own health right now. And 2 concussions in 2 weeks is... Josh, as a former host of Spelling Bee champion, am I safe in saying in my medical diagnosis that that's bad? 2 concussions in a row?
Yeah, I would say that after the first concussion, you should probably be a little bit more careful after the second one. That's, shake it once, you're fine. Shake it twice, you're okay. Shake it 3 times, you're playing with fire, is, I believe, how that song went.
You have fire in your gut?
Mm-hmm. He's got fire in his brain, all right.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, and I think that's, I don't know. I thought I was reading through headlines today. It was like his 5th concussion or something total, which yes. I would assume he actually has more than that, but I think maybe 5 in the NFL or something. But yeah, I don't know. And all that is to say the O-line looks bad. Donovan Jackson banged up. Brian O'Neill went out of that game. We just got Darsaw back, but this heavily invested in, I think it was like, I think the number I heard was like 66 million O-line or something. I don't know if that can't be just this year. Maybe it is, or maybe that's multiple years, but They have not all played together yet, which that's disappointing. So that's rough. But yeah, Vikings high and Vikings dough. If we lose, to the Browns, who I think are starting Gabriel Dillon now, that's going to be rough. But Josh, I don't know when the best time to drop this in is, but as a slight surprise to you, even though you requested it, I know you have a psychology degree, so I know you can empathize with someone who really, I don't know, triggered is not the right word, but activated within me was my fight or flight when you made this request. And every single time I thought about fulfilling this request, everything told me to fight it or to run away and to not do it. But I did it. We got a Randj reacts here. I pulled my dad. I pulled my dad for a little bit of the Viking stuff. He didn't get nearly as unhinged as I would have hoped for entertainment value. But if we can keep this going, I do think Randj will get cockier and cockier and thinking his opinions are superior. So it is a 3-minute clip, so it might get a little bit long for people who don't care about the Randj. But without further ado, here's the first and potentially last ever Randj reacts.
Oh God, I'm so happy I had popcorn for my fantasy snack.
You guys
That's what the people want, Dad. I'm just telling you.
on your podcast?
Yep. Just Josh.
So,
there's a
okay,
special request
Throw
from
that past me one more time.
Josh. He wants to know what your reaction was to last Vikings game. So we just lost to who the hell did we play? I don't even remember. We just lost to the Steelers in Ireland.
Yeah, but it was. I mean, they came back, but they looked like shit the whole game.
But he wants to know like what happened, or like what do you think the major problem was? You're the expert here.
You always tell me I don't know shit about anything.
That's what I say, but this is what Josh wants. So what do you think? Vikings
Is
lose?
is it on?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I think, Josh. If they win one more game, because I know JJ's supposed to be coming back, but if they win one more game, it's going to be a tough call who they put in there. But now that we got like 2 offensive linemen hurt, it's going to be tough. They're going to have to figure like some rollouts or some screens or something to get the ball out of whoever's quarterback, get it in like their hands quickly. Because our offensive line, we paid millions and millions of dollars, and they're hurt. So I think if they can come up with a good plan, I would say it's going to be a tough call during the bye. Okay, there you go.
That's it?
Yeah,
Wow.
that was pretty good.
So who do we play next? We play the Browns.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
But
Do you think we're gonna beat the Browns?
I really do, in my heart. I think they're going to beat the Browns, but they're not a team you can take lightly.
Their defense is really good.
Yeah.
And they just benched Joe Flacco. They're putting in the rookie now.
Dart.
No, that's
No.
the Giants.
Oh, okay.
Dylan
yeah.
Gabriel, I think's his name.
Yep. So, that's the deal. You start somebody new, you just don't know. You know?
So if we lose, you think JJ will get his job back, but if
Yeah.
we win, Carson Wentz keeps starting.
Kind of.
We'll see.
That's kind of my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because actually, he did come back and he made a decent game of it. And plus, I think the offensive line wasn't giving him enough time.
Gotcha.
Okay, there you go.
All right.
Plus, the defense has to toughen up.
Oh, defense ain't tough enough? What do you mean?
Fuck no.
What do they got to do to toughen up?
I don't know. They're going to start sacking, putting pressure on people.
Yeah, but how?
I don't know. That's Fluoride's job.
All right.
Okay.
See you later.
Wow, this is really weirding me out a little bit.
Oh, well.
I didn't think anybody.
The best part of the whole clip is my dad calling Flores
Fluoride?
which I thought maybe he's been drinking too much tap water here, but completely ignores the core question. I asked him specifically about the Browns game, and he talked about whether or not Carson Wentz or JJ was going to start the next game. But you know what? I just let him go. I wasn't going to overcorrect.
Yep, and I think that my text message it didn't necessarily specify, so I don't care that he just went to the Packers. But I just wanted you to ask him just very simply. So Randj, how about football? And just see what his reaction is.
I mean, I assuming he stays warm to the idea, I think I'll get a much better reaction right after the game. So if I happen to be home on Sunday, and because also sometimes he goes to his buddies to watch the games or whatever. So if we're both home on Sunday, I'll try to get his more raw reaction right after the game, or maybe even check in at halftime if we're doing like really well or really poorly. But yeah, I'm not going to promise that every week. I don't have I don't have the same father-son relationship that Josh has, going out to lovely Mexican meals with his father. It's a little more strained, but I'll do the best I can with to get Randj on the air if it makes you happy, Josh.
Well, I just want you guys to go out and have a catch.
just a 31-year-old and a 69-year-old playing catch. Classic.
Yeah.
But that was Randj Reacts. One other note I had here in the... Oh, yeah, did you have any thoughts specifically on what Randj said, or you're just basking in the glory of it?
I'm just basking in the glory. I'm ready to go.
All right. One other thing I wanted...
I got fire in my gut.
Because we hadn't talked about this yet. But there's been kicking news, both good and bad news, depending on your perspective. But so a new rule that I guess flew under the radar for me, and maybe it's because I'm not watching McAfee anymore as much as I used to, or really at all. But I just found out this week, which is why we're seeing we saw a new kicking record, was that the K-ball, so what the rule used to be was an hour before the game, the equipment managers would get the ball and they'd do their best to beat it up and make the ball in a better condition for the kicker to kick. But now they get the K-ball either a week in advance, or they just have the balls at all time. And so they can really, massage and beat up and just form that kicking ball into prime kicking condition. So I think I saw a clip from Vic Fangio just a little bit ago as I was getting ready for the podcast. He said Brandon Aubrey might hit a 70-yarder this year. So that's an update to why the kicks are getting longer if no one had been plugged in. That was news to me. But they changed the K-ball rules and from an equipment management standpoint. So I think that's pretty neat. But then also... Yeah. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, McAfee did go in on that when kind of before the season started, and he made it. I mean, obviously he has he's got a personality to him that you can kind of, some people are turned off by it, some people enjoy it, and I'm one of the people that enjoy it because he does have his tangents and his little, opinions that have, and he's out there, and his energy is a lot, but his insight to the game is nothing that anybody else can provide for the most part. I mean, yeah, the Kelsey brothers are doing it, but theirs is more, I think it's singing Taylor Swift cover songs. But
no, I mean, I want to interrupt you just for a second. Don't get me wrong, I love McAfee. I just couldn't because I feel like unless I'm listening to 3 hours a day, I'm not doing it justice. I feel like I need and they might put this out, honestly, but I feel like I need a 30-minute to 45-minute highlight of their 3-hour daily show, and maybe I'd listen to that as a podcast, but otherwise I just can't. Right now I can't do 3 hours a day or whatever they do. Fair, I used to be able to, but
yeah, he was talking about that and how the equipment managers, that's where they earn their money with a lot of the guys, was just how well they can beat a ball up within the first or within that hour. So they had special brushes and different things that they'd use to massage it, and basically he said they'd throw it in the dryer and turn it on and
they're trying to beat that ball up.
And now they're able to do it a week in advance. Yeah, and he said that this is going to this could easily add 10 yards to some guys' kicks.
Oh yeah,
just with how much advance they have. So yeah, he's pretty high on it.
So there's that, but then the other portion is obviously we've seen a lot more because they changed the kickoff rules. We've seen a lot more action in the kickoff game because they moved up the touchback to the 35-yard line, and so pretty much everyone wants to land in the landing zone now. But oh, sorry, not the kickoffs, but on the other side, Jesus, I got ahead of myself.
Blocked field goals?
Well, right, but because of there's been so much focus on the kickoff, the theory that I've seen going around is that the special coordinator and the special team players, or the special team coordinator and special teams players, they just don't have enough time to practice everything in the week. And so they're just neglecting a bit of all that blocking coverage. And of course, you would assume some veterans should go in there and be just fine. But that's at least the leading theory I've seen from some smart football people I trust. This isn't just some random TikTok video. This is it was a coach or someone. I can't remember exactly who it was, but yeah, they're you know what? We're focusing so much on the kickoff. It doesn't surprise me that there's been a couple more, blocked kicks this year because there's not enough time in the day or time in the week or whatever. So a lot of action in the kicking game this year, which is interesting, honestly. That was not on my 2025 bingo card.
Yeah. Funny enough, Jordan Run was on mine.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Sorry,
Well,
I just saw a clip about the Bengals offensive line letting a 3-man rush get a sack without blocking this guy.
should we move on to the tasty zone, Josh, even though all your snacks are gone?
Yeah. Fan Tasty Zone. Gar, do you have a snack this week?
I got here. I specifically got a can because I let us down last time. Hope that was crisp. We are drinking a Starry. We're drinking a Starry Zero Sugar. That is tasty. And we have a large Rice Krispie bar. Love me some Rice Krispies.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
What did you have, Josh?
I had leftover Boom Chicka Pop or whatever the pop bag popcorn is from Asher Party.
Yep.
Yep. Put it on a napkin, soaked it in water to get all the salt off because I don't like it. And then I just ate that mushy popcorn like nobody's business.
I despise you. Stay away from me.
Yeah. They stopped selling my sodium-free saltines, so I hired a neighbor kid to lick off the salt.
Speaking of salt, Josh, how salty were you? I guess you could go over 2 weeks, but at least for sure cover last week in fantasy.
We're just going to cover last week because it is the week that brings the salt through the pores. I had a solid 1-6 showing, my one win being the Champs Branch Out League, so kind of 0-6. But yeah, not much to talk about other than a bad 21 and 35 in the intellectual property of Joshua Allen Bunker Incorporated. It was just an ugly, ugly week for me. Like I said, I went into the afternoon games thinking, oh, I might have a chance to win. And then last night I was like, oh, I may have a chance to win. And then Garrett Wilson got that touchdown at the very end of the game. That gave Tyler the win over me. And then Breece Hall didn't get a touchdown, which didn't get me the win over Jesse. I dropped Dak for Drake May because I figured the Packers defense was better. That didn't get me the win. I had Travis Etienne on my bench. That didn't get me the win. So yeah, it was just, bad management decisions, but I'm just going to go ahead and guard. This is going to be my sweeping declaration for the rest of the season. I will not lose a single game in the Hidden Oak Redraft League.
So you're starting 0-8 to then finish, I don't know how many games that is. That's too many for me to count, but
18-8.
Wow. You're calling your shot now, huh?
Yes. And it all starts with me remembering that I have commissioner powers.
Oh, God. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to take him down. So, yeah, you had a rough week. That's essentially, like you said, essentially 0-6 because you're counting Champs Branch Out as a win, but it's really a survival.
Which is a win, yeah.
All right. So, yeah. You, Victoria's Secret, was it just a fluke week? Like, that looks like your best league, 5-3. You're going to turn that around?
I hope so. I have Jaden Daniels
Okay, so he'll come back
as my quarterback and Terry McLaurin as my wide receiver too.
Okay,
and
nice
they
stack.
were both out. And then, Jonathan Taylor didn't perform as well as he usually does.
So you didn't lose Malik or Reek or anything? Like you didn't lose a player to injury other than Jaden?
Yeah, no. The 2 weeks that I would have won in Hidden Oaks Redraft were the weeks that CeeDee Lamb got hurt without getting a point, and then Xavier Worthy got hurt without getting a point. I lost both those weeks by 5 points or less. So that's the league that I get injuries in the game. But Victoria's Secret was just kind of a
just down
week. I'm hoping.
Sure. All right, we'll
How
move on.
salty is you?
Yeah, we'll move on to me. 2 weeks ago, I was pretty salty. I went 2-5 last week. This most recent week, I turned it around to go 5-2. And I'm still alive in JWoww's Guillotine League, which I count separately. I'm not inflating my numbers like Josh, but yeah, I overall I'm 13-5, 13.5, and 14.5, which is essentially what you are, which is 500, which is ugly. And all my L's, you can see there's a concentration of L's here, Josh, right at the top. My two most expensive leagues I'm losing the most in, which fucking blows. I hate it. Those are the two leagues. I would, if I had to, I would flip my week to 2-5, but I'm winning in these leagues. It's bullshit.
We got a tie in one of them. That's nice.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I shared that picture in the Discord today. I have the 4th most points for and not a single win. Like, even if I were 1-3, I could see how that, it's just unlucky, but you think it'll turn around. Nope. 0-3-1. Not a single win to my name. 4th most points for. It's fucking bullshit. Using the the intellectual property of Joshua Allen Bunker Incorporated. 2 weeks ago, if I were to play every team in every league, I would have gone 25-50. This week, I would have gone 45-29. Overall, I am 159.5 to 176.5. So I have a losing record. I'm batting about a 4.75, which is brutal. We might have to cancel the podcast and all of fantasy football this year, Josh. Usually it's one or the other of us, but if we're both suffering, it might be time to hang it up.
It's because we're focusing so much time on giving the fans quality content.
Yeah, that's why we even took last week off, because we spent so much time focusing on the content.
Yeah, it took me all of last week to come up with this week's player of the week.
Okay.
The player that outscored the projection, which was Ashton Genty. 19.62 points over his projection, which just so happens to be more than my highest scoring player, I bet. Dud of the week.
That's tough.
Malik Neighbors. He tore his ACL, so yeah, he got negative 13 or 13 under his projection, so that's unfair. So I think the next one after that was AJ Brown with like 12 points under his projection. That's an interesting situation. The dumb sucker, the highest bench player, Kenneth Gainwell, was sitting on someone's bench with 32.4. I also saw Woody Marks was on, I believe, your bench because I wanted to pick him up and saw you had him. And then, yeah.
I sure do, bitch.
I have him in guillotine, so he's going to be my rookie.
Nice.
Matchup of the week, WEAK. Jeremy and Eric, and me versus Jesse. Neither of us, all 4 of us failed to get a median win. And we were, yeah.
Yeah, I got to see Eric over the weekend, and it was on Saturday, so before the game started. But he's like, yeah, we've had a rough start to the season, but I think I can turn it around. And then
Malik Neighbors died.
He's the reigning champ, and he's having a rough go of it so far. There's a good chance I think Eric misses the playoffs at this point. No, never say never. I'm certainly not rooting against Eric. I love Eric, but man's going through it right now without question. Moving on to the same closest to pin thing we did 2 weeks ago, Josh. I came up with a couple players this time. I tried to keep it to what I thought was interesting. You might think this is dumb, but so the premise is we suggest 1 to 2 players for a suggested trade, and whichever offer between either of us is closest in value, we win, or we decide on, or that person decides what side of the trade they want. So, using the fantasycalc.com, Josh, the first player I came out with here was Quinshon Judkins. He has come in and absolutely taken over that Browns backfield, so most of that value is already built into his calc value because I just pulled it today. But you could argue there's still room to grow. Either way, the current value based on their whatever proprietary website is $5,356. What would you offer in a trade for Quinshon Judkins?
Beef.
What would you say, beef?
Yeah.
And you can offer 2 players if you want.
Yeah. I remember the rules: 1 to 2, whichever's closest. I would go with something like. Oh boy, that's a tough one. Can I cheat and use the 2 of the players that you have listed below?
No.
Okay. For Quinshon Judkins, let's just say they want a wide receiver. We will go with somebody like, oh boy. AJ Brown.
AJ Brown, okay. Josh is offering AJ Brown. All right. And for me, I've had all this time to think about it. I didn't come up with my own answer, but I will go. And I think it's interesting to switch positions just like you did. So I will go. Oh, I'll say Nico Collins. Oh, Collins. Okay. I'll just put something in the chat, but I can't see it. I got to pull this up. Oh, you said 10 team. I have 10 team. I have a verbal offer of DK and Judkins for Bajan. I would take Bijan in a heartbeat, I think, but
Yeah, I would take Bijan as well.
I understand. I mean, I'm assuming you're talking redraft. But yeah, it's definitely in redraft. I would be wanting to put the value into one player and just increasing my starting lineup score through one position. So that's what I believe, at least.
Yeah, I
okay.
mean, is a person that if the person that's offering it probably did they lose like a wide receiver this week or something? Because that's the only reason they'd get rid of Bijan.
Yeah, getting rid of Bijan is certainly a choice. But I don't know. He said he has the offer, so maybe it's his boomer league and he just wants to take advantage of the old men. Moving on, Josh. This receiver I have faded. I faded before the season. I faded even a couple weeks in. I was like, I don't believe the hype, but we're 4 weeks in, and he appears to only be getting more opportunities. We're talking about Los Angeles Chargers receiver Quentin Johnston. Currently wide receiver 21 per this ranking website. He has a calc value of 34.58. And assumingly, you would assume that value would only go up. Of course, Ladd McConkey and Keenan Allen are there, but it appears through 4 weeks in, I'd say that's definitely more than enough data to establish a pattern. Quentin Johnston, he seems to be the stud to own in LA. What would you offer for Johnston, Josh?
I'd say like a running back. It's tough now because he's hurt and we don't know what it's going to look like. But Jaylen Warren is who I had in mind.
Jaylen Warren?
Yeah.
Okay. I would do. Do I want to do just a player or a package? All right, I'm thinking out loud. I think what I would offer is Cam Scatabo, just to not to delay too long here. Cam.
Yep. I'm looking at my values now, so we don't have to.
Okay. And then the final, Josh. I'll let you get that one typed in. But the final one here, I wanted to do a package as the starting proposition, just to keep it a little spicy. And I wanted to give you a little homer value here, Josh. We have Jordan Love, the QB 12, and Tucker Kraft, the tight end 5. Jordan Love has a value of 31.96. Tucker Kraft has a value of 28.24, which I assume that will climb. But I do think there's a little added extra value with the stack. What would you can offer either 2 players back or just 1 player back, either way, but what would you offer for Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft as a stack? And ignore the fact that the buy is this week. Don't factor that into your price.
I don't know. I always feel weird trading for tight ends and quarterbacks in a league, so that's kind of a tough one.
Well, I tried to make it interesting, Josh. We're trying to do a fucking show here, bud.
Well, I think that, if I was going to do that, I would be, and I'm trying to get those guys, well, just pretend that I'm a Packers fan. So
just pretend.
I really want them. I really want them. So I would probably offer something of a similar kind of stack. Maybe, no, because that's a terrible quarterback to match with. I was going to say Joe Flacco and David Njoku to a Browns fan, but
oh no,
gross.
Yep, that's terrible.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to top the best quarterback and best tight end combo in the NFL.
You're so stupid.
Because Brock Purdy and Kittle are dead.
I stumped him, folks.
Yeah, you did. Gar, do you have anybody in mind?
I mean, the first... And I understand people might overreact when I say this, but if you think about the position he's in, and Joe Burrow's out for at least another 10 weeks or so, I think Jamar Chase, maybe? Or, my second thought was Garrett Wilson. But I'll just send it and I'll say Chase, just to be controversial, just for the content, to get the reactions from people. I'll say Jamar Chase, given the fact that he'll have mediocre QB play through the next 10 weeks, at least.
Yeah, mediocre. Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
I'm just saying that.
So,
that
yeah,
obviously,
go
ahead.
Oh, if you're gonna go with that, then I would say, I'm gonna keep it spicy, and I'm gonna go with one player, but I'm gonna go with the running back. And if we're gonna do that, then I'm gonna say somebody who is potentially injured, hasn't been producing as well. I'm gonna go Bucky Irving.
Okay. Well,
Just because Al's listening, I know Al probably just had a hernia listening to me talk about his boo like that.
You're looking at the website, you cheater. He's 60-88.
Oh, really? Because he's 65-15 on mine.
Really? That's interesting. I wonder what's different.
I have him synced in our league.
Oh, I don't have anything synced. Okay, maybe that's it. Maybe I'm looking at dynasty rankings. So that's not good. Oh well. Yep, I sure was. Okay, let me re-pull these up then real quick. Nico is actually 53-58. And then this is great for the show, but here we are. I'm not going to pause because we're so close. Okay, I guess I should leave you in charge of this bit because I didn't realize there was a sync feature, and now I feel silly. I'm sure all the other values on the left were dynasty values, but I'm not going to fix that because I don't care. We get the bit. Jesus.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, that must have been Al's value.
That's all good. But okay, so for Quinshon Judkins, it looks like I was closest with Nico Collins, at least, based on the values we're using, because again, I'm not going to fix this, but I think I would take, out of everyone here, oh man, it is kind of tough. Like, Nico Collins seems to have a very secure floor, but it does appear the Texans are pretty bad this year. But obviously the Browns are going to be bad, but this is tougher than I want it to be. I would have
been closer if we used redraft value. I'm just saying.
Well, we didn't. I'm going to keep Judkins, I guess. But, I mean, I know I'm deciding, but what would you say, Josh? Just for funskies.
I would say Judkins as well. Yeah, just based off of how he's kind of hopped onto the scene and a team's dumpster fire, so he's going to be getting his carries, that's for sure. So yeah.
But I was very close for what it's worth. All right, Josh. Looks like you were, or no, I guess I was closer, but I don't care. Quentin Johnson, Josh, who you taking in place?
I was actually closer if we were going through redraft.
Pick then.
If I'm going with Quentin Johnson or Jalen Warren, actually all three of these guys are close enough to where we could probably just say all three of them are comparable. Because Cam Scottaboo's got a small sample size. I do feel like, Al chimed in and says QJ feels like a league winner. I feel like I'd go with him out of these three, just because so many running backs are in a running back by committee. Quentin Johnson is that he has been the wide receiver for one in that offense now for a while, or for the last few weeks. So that's who I would go with.
Gotcha. All right. Moving on to the third one, Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft as a combo, as a stack. We'll just say you were closer because I'm sure I was off with my dynasty rankings. Josh, who would you rather have? Would you rather have the Packer package, Jamar Chase, or Bucky Irving?
I'd probably go with...
Gee, it's not so simple.
I'd probably go with Bucky in this situation.
Oh.
Yeah, just the stability in the position. Tight end. I mean, the tight end 5, the difference between tight end 5 and tight end, 10 is probably not that great. That when you compare like the running back ranking of Bucky and 10 or 5 down from him, I don't know. I'd go with Bucky on that. Just positional scarcity.
Hey, give me 1 second. I wanted to pull up the rest of the Packers schedule here. They have Cincinnati, Arizona, Pittsburgh, Carolina, Philly. Based on the schedule, I might go the package. I mean, it would depend on who my quarterback is. Of course, if I drafted a high quarterback, I wouldn't be considering this deal anyways. But assuming I was just streaming quarterbacks, I might take the Tucker and Jordan Love because they, to my perception, they have a pretty good schedule through. The championship might be their worst week. Looking at the rest of the year here, week 17 against Baltimore, but that team might be absolute garbage by then.
But if you have to give up Jamar Chase or Bucky Irving, you're not going to make this championship. I'm just kidding. I could see if you have a streaming quarterback and you want the more stability, absolutely. Like if you were to punt on both quarterback and tight end for whatever reason, like just how the draft fell out, then yeah, I would say that would be for stability. But if you're somebody like I just picked up Drake May and I'm pretty happy with him and how he's been the first few weeks, I'd probably go with Bucky.
Okay, well, the official answer can be Bucky, but I am going to maybe controversially take the Packer package.
We could just say we all pick fun.
Yeah, we hope every game ends fun to fun. Well, Josh,
do you have Sunday night?
Right, exactly. Do you have any other content for the show? Otherwise, I think we can call that a fucking day.
I think we can call it a day. I do want to say, was it? I actually don't remember if it was Jalen or Colby. I think it was Colby. Yeah, Colby, I understand that I haven't insulted you as much as I have your brother, but I'm just going to go ahead and say that having your 2 starting wide receivers get hurt in the same week couldn't have happened to a better person.
What did Colby ever do to you? He was a little kid when he played Madden with us.
I know, but he still beat me.
You in Madden? Oh, so you're still holding...
Actually, I don't think he did. I don't even remember. He probably did, but yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it stinks. He's like... I mean, Tyreek Hill and Malik Neighbors going out the same week kind of stinks. I'm more interested to see how this quarterback thing shakes up in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking through that and I was like, oh boy, I'm really happy I have a second quarterback. And then I panicked and I was like, what do my quarterback's buys look like?
Al was very unimpressed with you. He felt like you were sabotaging. I don't know if you were sabotaging him personally. I haven't looked at Al's roster, but Al was he was unimpressed.
Yeah, Al has 4 quarterbacks. He'll be just fine. No, the reason I was doing it is because, I'm driving them prices up. The people that don't have 2 quarterbacks, they're going to be like, oh no, Josh just alerted everybody that there's only 2 quarterbacks worthwhile because nobody's going to pick up Dylan Gabriel to plug in because they're more at risk of losing points than actually gaining anything. So I was just doing that to drive the price up. If I get 2 teams to spend $400 on a quarterback like somebody named Walters did on a running back that hasn't scored more than 10 points this season, then we're just we're making it a little bit easier down the road to make some bids on players.
Sure.
Al, if you want to pick up Dylan Gabriel, I know that word on the street is that the minimum bid is going to be $640.
Interesting. But yeah, okay, that's the show. I was, while you were ranting just a little bit about quarterbacks, Josh, I did into this Fantasy Calc website, which who cares what just one website says, but I put in that Bijan and then DK and Judkins trade, and I shouldn't say Al, but the Bijan side is winning the trade by almost 4,200, quote unquote score value or whatever. So that's crazy. If you're getting Bijan out of that, Al, you're running away, and that's great for you.
But you don't get him next week because he's on a bye.
Do you think someone's trading him just because of the bye? They're in a bye bind?
Maybe they saw that and goes, oh no, he's saying goodbye to me. He's not going to play again.
Yeah, that could be as well. But okay, Josh, we'll call that a show. I'm not going to play the outro song, so you can go ahead and just say go Packers, and then we'll get the hell out of here.
Go Packers.
Hi, Josh.
Yeah, Champions. I've been giving Walters all this crap about the Champions League, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking. I'm like, I have a couple guys on bye that I'd really rather not have on bye this week. Mainly Bijan, who's put up 30 plus points for each week.
Sure, I feel
or
it.
20 plus.
Yeah. Well, so Josh, as you, since we're both biased, but just off the top of your head, and maybe you can say you want to wait to decide until waivers go through tomorrow morning, but who do you think will be like the top 5 in James branch out? Have you've been paying attention to the pack, like the group of teams, or no?
Not really. I have not.
Right, well,
I'm waiting for the how I said I was waiting for the rug to get pulled out from underneath me on the Green Bay Packers team. I'm waiting for that to happen in my champs team, because I haven't made many moves, but I'm still most points for. But it's bound to happen. I was not expecting the Travis Etienne resurgence to happen like it is.
That was a lovely surprise.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. I like football.
All right, we will. I have no reasons to not be here next week. So assuming Josh and I are both here, we'll be back here next week. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Go Packers.